Folks, we have some major breaking news right now. The ceasefire agreement that Donald Trump said Iran and Israel had agreed to has already been broken. At the time of filming this, it's around 4 a.m. East Coast time. We're just learning about these updates. And the agreement that Donald Trump bragged about said that achieved long-lasting peace in the Middle East and said he was a peacemaker. It's already been broken. So I'm going to give you the latest updates that we have right now, and then I'm going to show you some of the posts that Donald Trump made earlier today bragging about this agreement. So 43 minutes ago, at the time of filming this, again around 4 a.m. Eastern time, the Associated Press said that sirens were sounding again in Israel. According to them, sirens sounded across northern Israel after Israel said it identified missiles launched from Iran less than 3 hours after the ceasefire agreement began. Explosions could be heard as Israeli air defenses fired. Tehran will tremble, wrote the Israeli firebrand finance minister on Twitter after the missiles were launched. Then, just 20 minutes later, the defense minister of Israel, his name is Israel Katz, instructed the military to, quote, respond forcefully after Iranian missile fire. So it seems like we're back to stage one. Israel is saying respond forcibly. Iran is shooting missiles into Israel even after the agreement went into effect. And now we also have other reporting that the Israeli defense minister has instructed not only the military to resume attacks, but they also said, quote, Iran had completely violated the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran by launching those missiles. Katz said he also instructed the Israeli military to resume targeting Iranian parliamentary and government targets in Iran. Which is really, really serious stuff. According to Israel's emergency services, there were no injuries in the missiles launched toward Israel after the ceasefire started. And overnight, just before the ceasefire started, Israel launched more than 100 munitions targeting dozens of sites in Tehran, including missiles launchers. And it's also important to note that we also just learned that drones have targeted military bases in Iraq, including some that house U.S. troops. According to the Associated Press as well, drones attacked military bases in Iraq overnight, including some housing U.S. troops, the Iraqi army and U.S. military officials said early on Tuesday. Iraqi army spokesman in a statement called the attacks a treacherous and cowardly act of aggression and said that they had damaged radar systems at all of these different locations, all these different bases. Iraqi forces shot down drones at other locations, and a senior U.S. military official who spoke anonymously because he was not authorized to comment publicly said American forces had shot down drones attacking the Ain al-Assad in the desert of western Iraq and at a base next to the Baghdad airport, while another one crashed. Thankfully, no casualties were reported and no group claimed responsibility for the attack. So we're still trying to find out who's behind it, but it's also important to note that some Iran-backed Iraqi militias had previously threatened to target American bases if the United States attacked. So it could be one of these proxy groups that have threatened the United States before. Not 100% sure. We'll get more information, I'm sure, on that later today. But I do want to emphasize that this ceasefire agreement that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance bragged about was the bee's knees, according to them. They said that this was going to achieve long-lasting peace. I mean, J.D. Vance on Fox News just earlier today said this.
Joining us this evening, Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thanks for coming.
Absolutely, thank you.
Just seconds ago, the president went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. Complete and total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region. region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
So, I mean, according to U.S. intelligence as well, the program has not been completely destroyed as J.D. Vance is trying to make it seem. And this long-lasting peace that he's talking about, I guess Donald Trump and his negotiating skills couldn't get it across the line. And I do want to make it clear that, like, Democrats, all of us want a ceasefire. We don't want war. We've been the loudest in advocating against this, but unfortunately, Donald Trump has insisted on it. And I want to show you some of these posts from Donald Trump bragging about what he did in the Middle East, this agreement that's now been broken. Just at 3 hours ago at the time of posting this, 1:08 a.m. at the time of me filming. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Less than 3 hours after this, we learned from the Associated Press that the agreement had been violated. Here's another one. He said, "We couldn't have made today's deal," referencing the agreement, "without the talent and courage of our great B-2 pilots," and all of those associated with that operation. In a certain and very ironic way, that perfect hit late in the evening brought everyone together and the deal was made. Here's another post that Donald Trump put out on Truth Social. And yes, this is unfortunately real. It is a art-like painting of himself, putting his fist up in the air, making him seem triumphant. He's obviously celebrating. He's trying to make the American people believe that he is strong and this would have never happened without him. And now, again, as we mentioned, the ceasefire agreement is gone. Let me show you one more post. He said, earlier in the night, around 10:18 p.m., so still in the middle of the night, he said, quote, "Israel and Iran came to me almost simultaneously and said, 'Peace. I knew the time was now. The world and the Middle East are the real winners. Both nations will see tremendous love, peace, and prosperity in their futures. They have so much to gain and yet so much to lose if they stray from the road of righteousness and truth. The future for Israel and Iran is unlimited and filled with great promise. God bless you both.'" And now this very deal that he's talking about, this prosperity that he's mentioning, is gone, and the agreement's been violated. And look, I take no joy in reporting this. I take no joy in having this conversation. I have said on different social media platforms that I wanted this agreement to succeed. I want there to be a cease in fighting in the Middle East. Nobody likes war. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants innocent people from whatever country they're from to lose their lives because of their own governments. But the reality is that Donald Trump appears to have failed once again, at least for now. If he can get the agreement back, great. That'd be fantastic. Again, I don't care who does it, Democrat, Republican. We all want to stop to war. That's the Democratic Party's view. But right now, his agreement that he hyped up, that was already on shaky ground because Israel and Iran wouldn't comment on it, and there was some back and forth that just seemed a little all over the place. That agreement, gone. Done. And Israel is instructing their military to respond forcefully and target government targets. So anyway, I just had to bring you this reporting. I'll leave the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.